In this video, we're going to demonstrate the application of activity-based costing to a service industry. Activity-based costing systems may have been developed and implemented by manufacturers, but its benefits have led to the adoption within the service industry. Why is activity-based costing appropriate for service industries? Because the objective of an activity-based costing system is to identify the key activities that generate costs and to keep track of how many activities are involved in the production of a product. But that is just as applicable when we apply it to the provision of a service. The 4 steps to implementing an activity-based costing system remain the same for service industries, with just one minor change. Step 1 is to identify and classify the major activities and allocate overhead costs to each activity pool. Step 2 is to identify a relevant cost driver, also called an activity base, for each activity cost pool. Step 3 is to calculate the activity base rates for each cost pool, and Step 4 is to assign overhead costs to each. And here's the change: service instead of product. Let's apply activity-based costing to a service industry to demonstrate its applicability. ShipCheap Inc., a freight company, provides freight services to their customers. ShipCheap has decided to implement an activity-based costing system. They have identified the following cost pools and allocated overhead to each pool as follows: loading $120,000, travel $380,000, and customer service $210,000. Recall that this is step 1 of implementing an activity-based costing system. Step 2 is to identify the cost drivers and to estimate the annual cost driver for each cost pool. Management determines that the cost driver for loading is the number of items, and they estimate 20,000 items per year. The cost driver for travel is kilometers driven, and they estimate 950,000 kilometers will be driven annually. Finally, for customer service, they have indicated the number of customer calls is the cost driver, and they estimate they will receive 1,500 calls per year. Step 3 is to calculate the activity rates for each cost pool. For loading, 120,000 divided by 20,000 items equals $6 per item. For travel, $380,000 divided by 950,000 kilometers equals 40 cents per kilometer. And for customer service, $210,000 divided by 1,500 calls equals $140 per call. We now have our activity rates. Step 4 is to assign overhead costs to a service. Management of ShipCheap is quoting on a job for a new customer, job number 290. The customer indicates that there will be 180 items traveling 350 kilometers and that the job will likely result in 2 customer calls. What is the estimated cost of job 290? To calculate the estimated cost, we take each activity rate and multiply it by the estimated actual activity driver for the job. $6 per item multiplied by 180 items is equal to $1,080. 40 cents per kilometer multiplied by 350 kilometers is $140. Finally, 2 calls multiplied by $140 per call equals $280. The total estimated cost of job 290 is $1,500, made up of $1,080 plus $140 plus $280. Management can now use this estimated cost to develop a price so that they can quote their customer. That's it for applying activity-based costing to a service industry. Thanks so much for watching.